Hello and welcome back to What the Flag. You've got your normal crew. We are recording from home because the tube strikes in London right now are sending all of us. We can't even handle this anymore. So we are all recording from home. We will be back in studio in 2 weeks' time because next week we are also remote. But a lot has happened since we last saw each other last week. I mean, I'm not really sure where to start, to be honest. I mean, you've got Brit Bowl, you've had the Youth European Championships. Yaz has been living her best life. Kenny's been out with Team Switzerland. Let's go to you, Yaz, because I really want to live vicariously through you in this new housewife vacation era that you're in.
It's great. I cannot recommend it highly enough. I won't lie, about between the hours of about 1 and 4, I get really bored. I do like everything in the morning. I get up early, I do everything. My house has never been tidier. Then between like 1 and 4, I'm just sort of there, like twiddling my thumbs. Let me go and check the washing every 20 minutes, annoying my husband until he finishes work because he works from home. So like every now and then I peek around the door of the office, like, are you on camera? Can I speak to you? He's like, leave me alone. Um, and then the evening comes, we go to the gym, then we're fine. But it's great. I went to M&S today, guys. They were doing red diamond strawberries for £1.50. So naturally bought two punnets, chopped them up. They're all nice and sitting in my container in my fridge, all washed. 10 would
What a
recommend,
woman.
guys.
I don't know whether to be happy for you or disappointed. I don't. I'm not sure. I
Be
don't.
happy.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
But,
bring
but
you
but
You're
some
also,
happy.
strawberries.
I was going to say 1 to 4 is prime daytime TV. No, that's when all the good shows are on TV.
I'm not really
Mm.
a TV person, and um, yeah, I'm not really a TV person. I'm more of a series person, so I'd like rewatch a series or watch a
Oh,
series.
okay.
Then it just feels like a real waste of my time if I'm just watching a series. I'd rather put a series on and then like do everything in the house and then like stand there for like a minute or so, watch a bit of an episode, then keep going. Otherwise,
So
it
you
feels
put
like wasting
so you
time.
put a series on not to watch it, but to go and do other things while it's on.
Well, listen,
Exactly.
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 Yes.
That is what I do. I just need
Shocking.
noise.
Yeah,
Noise
and
needs to
then
happen.
my TV is very dramatic. So we've got a Samsung frame, and Samsung frames they adjust to the sound in the room. So the more noise you make, the louder the TV gets. So I can hear it 24/7. It's great.
Great advertisement for Samsung.
Again, shout out Samsung. Yep,
Other
yep,
TVs are available, guys. But if you want to sponsor the pod.
Oh, well, it sounds amazing. I'm so glad that you're having the best time on all of your mini moons or whatever they may be as well, just coming back from Greece. We also need to just quickly review. First off, NFL season has kicked off. So exciting. Brit Bowl happened, which is our finals day here in the UK. Some upsets throughout that. We had the Solent Thrashers beating Birmingham Lions 21-20, which is our women's tackle team. The first time it's basically not been Birmingham Warriors or back in the day Hertfordshire winning the national title. So congratulations to them. The youth element, we've got the Blitz that beat Rushmore Knights. That is also a quality one. And then we've really got to address this last one here. And Yaz, if you would like to step up as a representative of the team, we have the Bristol Aztecs beating the London Warriors 27-24. I mean, this is very uncharacteristic as well. Talk to us.
Yeah, I just think second half came around and Bristol really stepped their game up. I think it was a really amazing game to watch. I have to shout out D Williams, the quarterback of the Warriors, because he had an absolute game. Especially sort of like first half, like third quarter, he was absolutely killing it on all fronts. I think it was just a case of, at half time, the adjustments that Bristol made both mentally and physically really, really won them that game. Like they kept the Warriors, I think Kenny was saying earlier, to 3 points in the second half. And that's what really kills you, If you can't get your offense moving, it doesn't really matter what your defense does. Like if you can't get your offense to score, then you're on the back foot. It's not really defense's job to score. It's yours. So, I think that was really the issue that we had there. But I think Bristol's played absolutely phenomenally. That O line was impressive, the way they were moving those linemen, those D linemen. Brilliant work. They had an absolute icon of a running back. He was really, really good. And I just think it's a credit to a team to have such a strong run and pass game as well. Like to be able to just switch it up like that. A lot of teams, I think, rely heavily on either the run or the pass game, but to be a threat in both, which meant I think it sort of in a way maybe stilted the defense of the Warriors a little bit because they'd make one adjustment and they'd capitalize on that adjustment and then they'd have to change. But yeah, no, I thought it was a brilliant game. Obviously, I just have to say it's sad because it's my team, but very well deserved win and a brilliant game. Like what a show of amazing football it was on the weekend. It really was.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's been rumors, not rumors, there's been some shout outs that they should be renamed the London Immigrants after a very unfortunate, it's not unfortunate, super ignorant
Uh-huh.
people on social media. There's a small news piece coming out about, yeah, just that's it, just an ignorant person basically thinking that all of the London Warriors going into the hotel was some of the UK government's I don't know, the immigration pieces about sneaking immigrants into the hotel. And it just, I mean, we're not really about politics and stuff, but I think it goes to show that we all have a responsibility to whatever's going on in our respective nations to treat people the right way and do the right thing. So I just sorry, I couldn't help but call that out. But
I also think it's one thing that's really nice is like obviously when it happened, we as a team got told, sort of like sit tight. The Warriors board was like dealing with it, and then when the Warriors released a statement, it's actually so nice to see all the teams come together to repost that message and like it and show their support and send messages, comments and everything like that. And I think it's always nice, no matter what the rivalries are between teams and how
yeah,
deep they may go, that in a situation like this, the way that people were so quick to take to social media, find the person on social media, stand up for the people that that they
yeah,
love in this community. I think it really does say a lot about the people that we have in this
100%.
community,
Yeah.
which is amazing,
And we
regardless of
just
what the team was.
yeah, and we just can't let ignorance win, That was the biggest thing for me. Like it was like a lot of don't let ignorance win. So shout out everyone on that one. That was cool.
Agree. I'm glad that you brought that up. And just for anybody that's not sure, I mean, this was literally just a woman in the parking lot, just a hotel stayer at this hotel. Nothing to do with the American football community. So, yeah, it's been pretty great to see how the American football community has rallied together and supported one another. I think last little thing we have is this weekend coming up is Brit Ball finals for the mixed flag season in Manchester in the UK. So good luck to everybody. One of our producers, social editors, Matt, will be competing this weekend. So shout out to him. Best of luck. And we'll be
Yeah,
definitely looking for all the highlight pieces. If you do a good one, we will get you in next week, Mr.
if you do a good one, I think
Brick.
that means we're all supporting Cardiff Hurricanes by default, right? There's no other ties
We
to the
have
show,
to.
So
We
yeah,
have to.
it's necessary.
He's our
Okay,
person.
let's go
Um,
Hurricanes.
exactly,
Sorry,
exactly.
on that note, there are actually two players on the Hurricanes, AJ Carr and Eddie Onomade, who were both actually playing in for the Aztecs, who won the past weekend. So a chance to go for two back-to-back national titles in 2 weekends. I think only Ayaz has done that in the same weekend. You did it in the same weekend. They're doing it across 2 weekends, but no, I think
Let the people know.
it's a shout out and good luck to them. Good luck to everyone. Youth as well. Youth as well will be playing at the weekend. So good luck. Good luck.
It'll
Lots
be
of
great
fun.
to see. Great to see a lot of our GB youth who are returning from Austria and on their respective teams. Just to kind of go into that a little bit. The congratulations to the winners. So U17 boys at the Youth European Championships in Austria was Team Spain. U17 girls was Team Italy, and U15, which is mixed, was Team Germany. So congratulations to the three respective teams. It was phenomenal competition, and that's going to lead me into you, Mr. Bello, because you were out there in probably one of the most stunning venues I've seen for a flag football tournament and tackle football tournament for that matter.
And
So
any football, I
any
mean, it's
football
just a
at
beautiful
all.
place,
We'll get a
absolutely beautiful
picture.
place. Yeah, yeah. No, we were in Innsbruck in Austria, and honestly, I actually flew into Munich and then drove across the border. But like obviously both hands on the wheel, 10 and 2. But the whole time, looking at the scenery as you go by, like it's just these mountains and very, old buildings as you go through, very picturesque. I mean, what an amazing, like a stunning location to hold the championships. And again, I have to shout out the organization, the local organizing committee. I mean, it's always a challenge having to organize so many nations with so many different teams. Um, but yeah, like wow, it was an amazing, just stunning, 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 stunning. From a particular like side of the main field, um, it's the stands, and then there's actually a bigger stadium behind that, and then behind all of that is just a mountain range, and like we're talking like I don't know, people throw numbers up. I have no idea how you measure mountains like in feet. I don't know, but like the numbers people say like 100 like 1,500, 2,000 feet. I don't know if like they were big. They were so big. They were so big that it was really hot on day one and blue skies. You could see everything. On day two, it rained, but when the rain went away, like there was snow at the top of the mountains. It was that high up. Like the temperature was that cold up there. So, and I heard lots of stories about hikers getting stuck up and getting in trouble in the cold because of the height, how quickly the weather changes. And I say all of that to say, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I would anyone that wants to play football in Austria, let me know. I'm down anytime. Let's go.
And what about the competition? I mean, you got
Oh,
to see
sorry,
it
I was all like
firsthand in
location.
Switzerland. What was that like?
So
Visit Austria,
so
guys. Visit
this is
Austria.
yeah,
Yeah.
visit Austria, yeah. Hashtag visit Austria. No, this is my third youth European Championships, albeit first two were with GB. This time was with Team Swiss. And honestly, the thing I have to say that is evident across all levels, all is the development in the standard of play. No disrespect to anyone. I think because of the interest in flag, like it's just growth. Team, just the example I will give is Team Germany posted a picture of their staff. Okay, um, they had 20 members of staff in Innsbruck, which okay, maybe it's a short journey, so maybe travel was easier for them to get across and so on and so forth. But actually, to have 20 members of staff across three teams, quick maths, you're still looking at least 6 or 7 members of staff per team, whether it's medical staff, scouting teams, and they had all these like super cool microphones. I was like, I'm gonna get one. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna be like the kids who wear those watches that don't work in 7-on-7, and I'm gonna have a headset. Doesn't do anything, but I look super cool and official.
Imagine the pictures.
But I mean, to that point, I think I might have this wrong. I don't think I do, but the U15 made the finals. The U17 girls the Team Germany made the finals as well. The girls lost to Italy.
Yeah, they
for
got
the
silver.
U15 mixed one, right? So nations are starting to put actually a lot of weight, a lot of resources behind the youth because, and I will, hey, breaking news, I don't know, whatever, you heard it here first, whatever those football people say, Team Germany had 2 girls in the U15 that I strongly believe could run with their women's team today.
Wow.
They had them in the U15, and because it's mixed, their QBs are boys, which again, no disrespect to girls, or like, but the boys could access, all the areas of the field, and these girls were, I'm talking over the shoulder catches, full speed, in stride. But I'm like, wow, they're going to be, yeah, if they can keep them going and working them through the system and the process, they're going to be a real problem for yeah, for the future. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, standard has improved. The level of football is amazing, fun to watch, fun to be a part of, great to compete.
And now I think it'd be remiss of us not to just have a mini minute debrief on Great Britain. Obviously, those are our kids. I was with U17s when the girls won gold 3 years ago. Same year that our women's team won gold, so it was a really special moment. But then to see them kind of drop down to seventh place, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
it's, there's always going to be change. There's always going to be people who are moving out of different categories. I guess with you being on the ground there, Ken, what would you say is going on Team GB wise? Because it was seventh for 17U girls, eighth for and ninth, correct?
seventh, eighth, and ninth. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think it's fair for me, especially me, to comment on it, like having been in there.
But so in your tenure, you've
Mhm.
won gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah, so 2 years, the U17 girls won gold in year one, and then in year two, U15 won the silver, losing ironically to Germany, and in the final, and the U17 boys got a bronze. So that's like 3 medals in 2 years.
So what's happened in that gap?
What what I think what I can say, it's hard. You know, it's like any match, but if you're not in the camp, it's very hard to try and work out what's going on.
I think it's probably, we all have an onus and responsibility to make sure that at club teams, at the international level, whatever's being coached is all passed and shared around. And I think kids are starting to, I think, if I'm being honest, I think our kids need to get in the gym. I think they need to start their strength and conditioning programs. I think you look at the other countries and they have all this support. And at the moment, our women's team here in the UK have the support, but I think that we need to find a way to share our resources with everybody, especially the youth, because you're right. We've got to be getting those kids ready for 2028 Olympics or 2032 Olympics. And I won't force you to say anything
No,
else.
no, no. The thing I will say is, I think if it was one team that had maybe fallen off a bit, you could, okay. I think the thing that is the real alarm bell is the fact that it was all three teams, which is,
Mm.
that is probably the most um red flaggy sirens, alarming thing for all of it. But as I said, it's difficult to comment if you're not in the camp. That's all.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. Perfect. Well, this is going to lead us perfectly into our next topic, which is all around the European Championships that are coming up in a couple weeks' time. Again, this weekend, the Americas are happening in Panama, and then only in a couple weeks, we are right into the Euro. So we thought we would give you guys a preview. So I just want to walk you through the groups to start off with. So in the men's group, there's 24 teams competing. We've got 4 groups for them. And then in the women, you've got 19 teams. So looking at the men's groups, and I would love to hear your feedback as well once I hit them. So Group A, Austria, Great Britain, Spain, Georgia, Netherlands, Croatia. B, Germany, Denmark, Finland, Poland, Belgium, Slovenia. C, France, Israel, Sweden, Czechia, Slovakia, Hungary. D, Italy, Switzerland, Ukraine, Ireland, Norway, Portugal. And then for the women's, Group A is Austria, Switzerland, Israel, Netherlands, Slovenia. B, Great Britain, Czechia, Finland, Ukraine, Turkey. C, Spain, France, Sweden, Poland, Norway. And last, D, and because of the odd number, it's Germany, Italy, Denmark, and Ireland. So let's talk about the men's first, because you look at some of the powerhouses that you have. Austria, who have been a great side. Germany, who really did struggle at the World Championships, but actually they've just put out their roster, and there's a lot of new faces on this roster. France, I think, is one of the most fun teams to watch. They're so competitive. They're really kind of spicy with it. Italy, who were competing in the World Games when the men's were there as well, back in 2022 now. It's interesting to see that just the way that it works. Spain ended up in ninth place, but we know that they are a dangerous side. Are there any other teams that you guys are looking forward to see or that you want to watch compete?
We'll get in a lot of trouble if I don't shout Switzerland, who won bronze in
Of
the World
course.
Championships last year, which I don't think they would be upset by me saying. I think that caught a lot. That was a real surprise because they beat Mexico in the third place in the bronze medal match. Um, are 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 up there, and then I also know that Sweden have had. I think a lot of teams have had a bit of a makeover, basically, like, and the teams are looking very different from what we perhaps are have been used to.
Mm.
So and it's going to be very exciting because even in those that you named in past successes, it's like, okay, Italy were in the finals, World Games 2022. A caveat that was coming out of COVID. Germany lost, especially Phoebe, to COVID during the tournament. So,
Yeah.
that changed a lot of stuff. Um, but then Germany are the reigning European champions, right? But then they go from that to having a dismal showing in the World Championships. So that's literally there. It's like up, down, and which team Germany are we going to get this year? It's going to be so fascinating to watch and see how the games pan out, honestly.
It is, and Portugal is competing for the first time, which is really exciting. I mean, that's what this is about, is watching other countries coming and competing in these big tournaments. I think it's first off, we have to also say we are going to have our very own Yaz, but in a relaxed tone, and Matt Burke out there doing some interviews. So if you are around on the Thursday and Friday of the competition, we would love to speak to you. Yaz has all the questions. She is the fun one. You will not miss her. We're going to have our What the Flag gear on, so you'll be able to come and hang out with our most popular. What are you looking forward to, Yaz? This is going to be your first flag tournament.
So I'm very much looking forward to watching Portugal play. Mostly because when a team is like sort of like a baby team, new team, it's really interesting to see whether they're going for like a copycat style in the sense that they've watched other teams and they're going to try and run like a version of that, or if they're going to try and develop something completely brand new. And it's always nice to see how well that goes. I mean, look at when you guys went to the World Games in China. Look at how well they did as a team that was, a baby team. They trained, they came out, they put on an absolute show. So it'd be really nice to see that. Apart from that, I'm just sort of looking forward to seeing how it all runs. I haven't really seen like a tournament style football game in a long time. Obviously, we haven't played sevens now for a while, well, not when I was playing. So that was the last time I kind of saw a tournament style sort of competition going on. So it'll be really nice to see how it runs, how fast paced it is as well, because obviously the pace of flag is different because everyone is running all the time. There is no one, like walking. So it'd be really nice to see that, and even to just sort of see those rivalry games, and how the audience are reacting, and what the players are doing in between matches if they've got any stats on the same day, and it'll be great. I'm looking forward to being in an environment that's a lot more fast paced. I feel like sometimes where I've been in tackle it can be a lot slower sometimes because there's a lot of waiting, but I feel like in flag it's really really like this is happening, that's happening, there's always something going on to really like draw your attention. So that's me.
No, it'll be honestly, we're so excited to have you guys both out there and just capturing so much content and the amazing element. I think there was a poll that we had put up a little while ago asking people to kind of vote who you felt were some of the top male players in the Euros. And just also last shout out, this is going to be Ireland's second year here, the men's and women's team. So I'm excited to see what that growth is because the last time we had the Euros was in Limerick in Ireland and they hosted it. So they got rights to having a team and now they've all earned their way here. So the players that have been announced as ones to watch out for from your peers, you've got Adrian Darmana from France, David McAnally, UK. You've got Tenke Lomine. There's a lot of French in here, I'll be honest. One that I personally have really enjoyed playing against, and I know Kenny and I have loved watching, is Anga Anhar from the Netherlands. Guys, he is so much fun to watch. I mean, for such a tall, lanky man, how he changes direction blows my mind. I absolutely love it. He's phenomenal. And yeah, if there's anyone else that you guys think we should be watching out for, make sure to message us. We want to try and talk to you as well whilst we're out there. So check on the men's side. Right. On to the women's side. This is also a huge competition. Looking at the groups here.
Spain.
What you guys
Spain.
say?
That's what I
Oh, you
meant.
said
No,
Spain.
Spain. Yes, Spain. That's all. We
So
don't need to say
this
anything
is
else. We don't need to say
this
anything else. That's fine.
We're not a biased
you.
podcast. Other teams are available.
Not needed. Spain. Thank you. Good night. That's all.
Yes, we're looking forward to see Spain play, okay?
Spain is going to be fun, I guess. It's going to be great also to be able to, well, Austria's part of the Euros now. They've not had their quarterback Saskia for a long time in the past Euros, obviously just competing at the World Games. You know, they've come with a little bit of, hey, there was an asterisk next to it. We're trying to battle people out here. Yes, Kenny Bello.
It was, and I will call her out. Sophie on Team Austria put out a social media post, and I don't remember it word for word, unfortunately, but something along the lines of, "Cannot wait for Euros, where we're coming back to reclaim what's ours," type deal. And it's like, wow, okay, you know. So I know for a fact there's a number of teams that have blown that up into big posters and have that in there.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, have to win.
Sorry, you spoke the hardest, so you got to stay with chest. That's it. I'm coming straight to you for interviews, Team Austria.
Nice,
Sophie, hello.
But I don't know. So it's very interesting, the confidence that people go into tournaments with. I think it's necessary to some degree. I just think there are a lot of good teams. You know, I think there are a lot of good teams. A lot of unknown quantities as well. So it's the easiest thing to sit here and think, oh, everything's going to go according to type, and you know, but
it never is.
No, I'd also think you'd be incredibly naive to think that between such a big competitions that lots hasn't changed. Like surely straight away, like you'd get a lot of people might be moving cogs around to see what's going on. I mean, if it's broke, you have to do something, right? Because Euros, if you didn't show out in the way you wanted to in the World Games, surely by the time you get to Euros, like you want to make sure that you're putting on an absolute show, especially because now you're playing in a way against a smaller pool. You're not playing against the Americas anymore. You're playing against sort of like European teams. So maybe, you know, you want to push yourself up in the rankings, no?
And I agree with that. I think one of the bigger ones is actually Italy. Italy have totally changed. Now, remember, they just competed at the World Games. And, you know, they got in, again, because Spain was not able to attend. But they've got brand new staff, new players are in. Jonathan Homer from Manchester Titans is now the head coach of Team Italy. Now, he is affiliated.
He announced it to me with a bow because he was out in Innsbruck he was like, yours truly. I was like, oh snap, okay.
And then shout out to our Nausicaa, who has done her knee just before the Euros. We love her so much, and we wish you a speedy recovery. But you know, it's a great example of lots is changing here. Obviously, Great Britain, we're coming in thinking we need to retain our title. Austria just beat us at the World Games. What does that look like for us? Some new teams, Turkey coming in is going to be really Turkey is coming in, which is going to be so exciting. Also, I love the way Slovenia plays. Now they're back. They're a feisty team. We lost to them at King Bowl. So, you know, the level of play, the different athletes that are coming in, we're seeing this recruited. And what's unique is you've got the World Games, which any of the European teams, in a way, we've exposed ourselves a little bit, right? Where Kenny's talked about it before. You've got more game film on us. You know who our athletes are.
Kenny don't use film. Kenny don't care about film.
No, that's for other people. That's not for me. I watch the game. I don't watch film. I watch the game. So I saw what I needed to see. All
right, go on, Coach Ken. What you got for us from Team Spain as the offensive coordinator of Team Spain? Your 1 minute elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch. Just we have set out the aim is to set out to play football that people want to come and watch, and that's going to be That's going to be our key. So we want to play a standard a brand of football that people will want to actively come and see. So
I always want to
hey,
see Olga Sotillo play. If you've not
yeah,
watched her play, follow her, watch her. She's unreal.
just that's one. Multiply that by five, and then you'll have an idea of what we have cooking in the pot. But no, it's going to be exciting, and I think there's also a bunch of storylines because Germany women's finished ninth, but they lost in it, one of it was an upset because of the comeback nature of the win. They lost to Italy in the round of 16. And if you lose in the round of 16, it means the highest you can finish is ninth, which they then did. So the narrative, the line for the German women's team coming out of the Worlds was that actually they only lost one game, but that one game was enough to make sure they finished ninth in the whole competition. Which was so I'm if they meet again, that'll be all kinds of fireworks. I'm sure it has to be, and equally if GB meets Spain, all kinds of fireworks. I'm sure.
And that's really where it's at, right? I mean, naturally, so just for anybody, GB beat Spain in the finals 2 years ago. Previously, Spain had beat GB. There is always this back and forth.
Yeah,
And so that's what makes this also exciting. The last one I want to kind of bring up is Israel may have recruited Allison Ganlin, the the NFL flag player of the year from the US. I mean, she's unbelievable. Tackle, flag player. I love her to bits. She's an
absolute
absolute
baller and a lovely
superstar.
person as well. Yes, yes, yes.
So amazing. Her and her sister both play flag. So they may have recruited a Miss Allison Ganlin, which makes it very enticing. And all the storylines you won't want to miss out. European Championships coming up in just a few weeks' time. But first, don't forget about the Panamanian Continentals going on. And of course, a massive thank you to our sponsors, MVP Travel, who are helping get our Yaz and our Matt out to interview all you wonderful people. So make sure to message us. Let us know when you're out there.
So I was on Instagram today, as you do. If you were the person who posted this quote, look at you, you've just made it to the podcast. Um, but I saw someone's story, and it was a quote that was along the lines of, "If you knew you only had to fail 30 more times before you reach success, how quickly would you fail?" Essentially. Um, and it just made me think, wow, what a great quote of the week. Thoughts, Kenny, because you nodded.
Are
So
you? Are you? I did. Are you afraid of failure? Question to both of you. Are you afraid of failure?
I fail all the time. Literally
No,
all the
no,
time.
not the question though. Do you fear it? Because I think like to some degree I do. Like I'm afraid of like rejection, of stuff not succeeding. And maybe in some regards the stakes are high. So like for example, I've worked hard to make coaching my job, the thing that right, but it means that if those things don't work, rent becomes questionable, food on the table becomes questionable. So like I do actually feel, failing is not just because I think a lot of people say, haha, like you fall down, you get back up. Like actually it's not always depending on how much I use the word carefully, but depending on how much you gamble, like it's not the risk can be punishing, you know? And that's why I like, so do we like, because I think it's something a lot of people say, like, oh yeah, hurry up and get 30 rejections. But if 30 rejections means you're not paying rent, you're not gonna be able to cover your car note. We're not in America. I don't know what your payments like. And that's why I asked the question. I think, yeah, because it's like, you just had to be like, I feel all the time, like, but do you though? And I actually, yes, you do, but I don't know. I think it's not always as straightforward.
What do you think, Yaz? I mean, is your quote?
Um, I think there's two parts to it. I think when I was younger, I used to fear failure a lot more. I think that more comes from the fact I was the only child. So like my whole thing is like I've always wanted to just like, just make my parents proud. So I feel like when you're an only child, it kind of becomes harder. I feel like sometimes if you're like maybe a sibling, if you fail but your brother succeeds or your sister succeeds, maybe you'll be a little bit jealous, but like at least there's something still like going on. But I kind of felt like when I was younger, if I failed, then like there's no one else representing for my parents, so I have to like be the best. And I think that in a way that's carried over to adulthood in the sense that like I want to be the best at everything I do. And if I'm not, then like now I'm upset about it. Like, so rejection for me is, or the failure in this sense is one thing, but I think the issue with it is that it would mean that I'm not the best. And that sounds really big-headed, but then it means, well, now I've just got to work harder. Now I've got to do more. I've got to work, 10 times as hard to make sure that I am the best. So I think for me, rejection is like a consolidation that I wasn't the best out of the pool. So now I just need to work harder to be the best. I guess it's a more positive now. I don't feel like a like, oh, I'm going to disappoint everyone. But but like for me, I just know it's a like more of a push in the right direction. What about you, Phoebes?
Yeah, I mean, I probably feel similarly. I think, I never want to let people down. But I just think that, you know, people may look at my career now and be like, wow, she's done it overnight. I mean, this is 10 years of
He has not done it overnight
hard
at all. I
work
can
and
vouch.
sacrifice and failure and making mistakes and, having regrets and all of that. And I think that's only helped to shape me into who I am and help me with some of my decisions that I still make to this day. So I embrace that element of failure because I just learned so much more from the mistakes that I've made than sometimes from the lessons that are actually positive for me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I'm probably a combination of both of you, but I just don't want, like you, I just don't want to let people down. I think that's the worst thing, whether it's like immediate or on a larger community, whether it's our Brit Bowl community or our NFL community or whatever that looks like. I think there's a lot of people that the three of us have the privilege of representing, and we want to do our best for them.
Two questions, one to both of you and then one to you. Yeah, so super quick. Do you feel the pressure of like people looking up to you? That essence of you guys are still very much trailblazers in the world of sport, American football specifically. Do you ever like feel that pressure, and then fear failure? It's similar to what you said, you don't let people down. Do you ever feel that weight of expectation from all those that are looking up to you?
Phoebe, to you.
Um,
That's that's jokes because you're both either side of my screen, so that's like I can literally go.
I mean, I guess there's always an element of feeling pressure. Like for sure, when I was in Buffalo, I felt a lot of pressure because I wanted to make sure that others had opportunities after myself to be in those roles and do all that.
Other women specifically,
Yeah.
or okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Other women, other minorities, whatever that looked like. And then I would also say now I probably and Yaz, maybe it's I don't know. I think if someone were to look at like Yaz and myself and say, "Oh, you guys are role models," and I hope I'm not speaking for you, Yaz, and just tell me if you don't agree. And there's a lot more women in the world, right, that are in these positions where I think for a lot of us, we aren't going out there being like, we're going to be inspirational and role models for people. We're just doing the best that we possibly can and what we think is right and working really hard. And if that inspires other people, I think that's incredible. And I love that. And I love that they get to see us in these different roles and that means that they think they can do that one day, which they absolutely can. I think people have to also stop saying, hey, I might be the next Yaz one day or whatever that or the next Phoebe or the next Kenny. Like I think people have to embrace the fact that we don't need another next one of those. Like be yourself and that's what we want. We want the next Zoe, the next whoever, right? Like we want you guys to be the ones that are dreaming and achieving and pushing to be the top game of who you are, not necessarily trying to be somebody else because the paths that we've all taken to get to where we are never going to be the same. Like we have all three of us here have totally different ways to how we got to where we are. That doesn't make us any better or worse or anything like that.
Yeah, completely agree. Couldn't have said it better.
And then the small follow-up for you, yes,
There's
was
no small follow-up here,
well,
guys.
I didn't say there was too much. I didn't say there was too. To be fair, maybe it's a question for later. Do you know what? I'll save it and we might post it
You
on
got me
social
on the edge
media.
of my seat,
Yeah,
Ken.
I know. Cliffhangers. Yes, there we go. There we go. I'll hang a hook in it, put a pin in it, and then yeah, we'll come back to that. It might also be because I've actually forgotten it, but hey, either or.
And that was the quote of our week. Thank you, Yaz, for another insightful one, and we'll have more next week. Earlier this week, we had the absolute privilege of talking to DC of the U17 boys Team Spain, Coach Will Jore-Satre. Absolutely enlightening. We can't wait for you to listen. Welcome back to What the Flag. We are so lucky to be joined by an incredibly special guest all the way from Team Spain. Let's welcome Coach Will Jore-Satre. Coach, thank you so much for joining us on What the Flag tonight. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for the invitation.
No, it's an absolute honor. And as soon as your name came up as somebody to get on, we were so delighted. And I guess really I need to start by saying congratulations on the gold medal at the Youth European Championships for 17U boys. I mean, how are you feeling now that you've had a few days to recover?
It's like you're like, I don't know, on the cloud, and you don't really know that it's real. So I mean, I think it will take time to realize all what happened because it was so fast, like in 3 days, a lot of emotions, and so I'm still like recovering from all that.
It takes time, doesn't it? I feel like we've all been in those international competitions as players or coaches, and
Yeah,
genuinely, the come down is you almost need to have a holiday planned for afterwards because of the emotional roller coaster that you've been on.
kinda, yeah, kinda.
Especially as you didn't lose a single game the whole tournament. Like, what is that like? How difficult is that to manage through?
Um, the guys were so hyped from the first day before the competition. They were so hyped to go like 7-0, like from the beginning. And as we go through games and we won, the hype was even bigger. And I mean, they make it real. And at first it was like kind of joke, and it became real, and now it's just like amazing, to go undefeated, to win two games like on the last place, in 2 minute warning, the final to the semifinal. It was kind of crazy, and both offense defense they played great. I'm really really happy for my defense because they worked a lot and they did a really great job. I think we were the best defense on the tournament. All my players intercepted, so I'm really happy. I'm really really happy.
Three interceptions in the final? Was there more?
Yeah,
I lost count after there was just like pick, pick,
yeah, yeah,
pick.
yeah. They were like kind of four interception, but one got like a turnover, and
Yeah.
about those three, one was a pick six. So
Mm,
Wow.
mm. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, it was. I would just say, as a fan on the sideline, it was a joy to watch. And I'm an offensive coordinator, so for me to say that was
yeah, yeah. Thank
a
you.
great, great, great game.
For those who haven't been to a youth European competition, what is it like? What's the experience like? What is it like to be in that situation?
Wow. I don't know. I've been last year in Finland for the World Championship. It was kind of different because the atmosphere is different too. They're younger, and they're like kind of more passionate about everything. I saw a lot of my girls crying, and the youngers, the under 15 too, a lot of uh, a lot of yeah. It's even more emotional, and but it's super nice. It's super nice, and I think it creates bonds between the players, and between the teams too, because they respect each other and they know they're on a high level, even if they're not senior, if they're not, they're still under 17. They know that the player they have in front is good, so that's a great experience for them as for us,
Yeah, and add to that, how would you judge the organization by IFAF and the local organizing committee?
Oh, it was really great actually. Uh, we were a little bit far away. We're like 30 minutes by bus, but the organization was really really good. Just it was tough for us about the time because we have to like dinner at 5. p.m. And in Spain we used to dinner around 9 or 10 p.m. So
Yeah.
it was tough, and we don't wake up at 6 in the morning to get the breakfast. So that was a tough one. But the organization really good, really good. I mean, well organized from the beginning to the end. Everything was clear, and really the organization was really really great. As in Finland, it was everything was really well organized, and we didn't have like big issues at any time. So really really happy about that.
And I must say, as an onlooker, the view was incredible with the mountains behind as the backdrop. I mean, Kenny and I had the privilege of going out to Italy when the Youth Euros were there, with GB, and I know Serbia was slightly different, but by far this looked like the most incredible backdrop that we've seen.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like playing the final, taking the pictures with the mountains behind you, with the all the yeah. No, it was kind of crazy because the first day it was very hot, and the second day it rained a little bit, and then there were like snow in the mountains. It was like, wow, that's crazy. We don't have that back here. And the last day was sun again, and no more snow. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, no, the place was really really great. The fields were very very great too, and we had an amazing time there.
I also have to shout out the having so the way they organized it was after the medal ceremony at the end, literally all the teams went to the dinner space, which was again really well managed. They had four serving stations, but it was like when I don't know, someone brought a speaker in there, there was music, the kids were all like, I say the kids, all of I definitely swapped some items myself, but the kids were all dancing and talking, and those are the things that you cannot really put a price on. Those are experiences that you cannot put a price on. So no, it is amazing. But I just wanted to just slightly along the same lines. So obviously you were a Team Spain player last year in the World Championships, right? How
Yeah.
does that compare with being a youth coach?
It's tough because first of all, half of the players didn't knew who I was. I was like, okay, you didn't make you didn't did the homework basically.
Yeah,
You're
But
a legend. Why wouldn't they know? Come on now, coach. I've seen you play. It's amazing.
yeah, no, and it was great. I mean, I coached since I began playing, so I know more or less how to manage youngers, and they were very coachable, like really from the beginning. I put some boundaries, and they never crossed them, and the attitude was so great. I mean, that was a special group. We had four team leaders, and I mean, I couldn't ask for more. We had like in the team we had like one guy, he was the funny guy. We had the another one, he was very like doing a lot of funny jokes and everything. And then we had those four guys that were um very into it and putting everything in the right way for everybody. And yeah, the group was very coachable. Like half of the time, our offense was working without the play calling of the coach, and my defense could call too. So I mean, we gave them that opportunity that they can call the plays because we trust that they could. So it's just showing them the way and letting them get into it.
Yeah. Is it so? Is which one is more pressure, the player or coach? Where do you feel if you feel pressure? Where do you feel the more pressure?
The more pressure as a coach, because as a player, the first play is just like you're kind of stressed a little bit, but then first play out, and then it's just like, okay, it's on. But as a coach, you're not controlling what you're doing. You're just giving, you're trying to give the best defense, the best cover, or the best play. But you're not in control. You just give the orders, kind of. So yeah, it was very stressful for me. Very, very, very stressful. The two games we won by 1 point, almost got heart attack. I mean, And but it's also no, it's also very very nice because when they intercept or when you win, you know it's just crazy the feeling you get because it's their work, but it's thanks to you a little bit. So it's just amazing, and seeing them like crying, shouting, with the big smiles on the face of the parents, thanking you. I was like, it's not me, you know. I'm just showing them the way. It's them. They did it. I just coach. I'm not on the field. And no, that's very precious. That's very precious. So more pressure when I'm a coach than when I'm a player.
Fair. And I'm going to tack on one final question kind of in this space. Um, I think I saw you acting in a medical capacity. Is
Yeah.
that part of you said, yeah, so calm. Is that part of your roles? Is that just something extra you do?
Actually, I went into the youth. I went as the defensive coordinator of the male of the boys, and I was also the physio of the female team under 17. So yeah, I was acting as a physio for the girls, and I mean, I was helping any team. We were three physios for the three teams, so we were helping each other, and whenever one of us needed help, well, we were there to help.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I think we need to have that as a requirement for our flag and tackle teams. If you're a physio, you have to be able to
Yes.
coach as well. That's like a secret weapon on the sideline.
Yeah, extra bodies. That's great. That's great.
And then another sort of title or hat that you are then wearing alongside that is, rumor has it, best dressed coach in flag football. Is that the case?
Oh, okay. So the story is that one day I came to a tackle game as a DC. I was well dressed because I had an event just before, and so I went, and everybody liked it. I was like, okay, I will wear that more often. And so during all the tackle season, I was wearing like suits for games, and everybody was enjoying it. So for this time, just before we left for Austria for one training, I dressed a little bit well, and everybody was enjoying it. I was like, okay, I will just take the suit, and if we go to a final, I will wear it, you know. And well, we went to a final, and as I said, I had to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I put the jacket on, and everybody enjoyed it, you know. So uh, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I like it. I liked it.
And it gets
Especially as
buy-in from the team, right? It's something that they're looking forward to as well, a little bit of incentive. And it's actually a conversation Kenny and I have quite a bit where in the tackle world, you do dress a bit, more professional, smarter. I see a lot of flag coaches, sometimes they're, barefoot in shorts on the sideline. I've seen it both ways, but I actually really like the idea of bringing a different professional edge to flag football. Flag football is fun and awesome, but I do think it's a business trip at the end of the day. You got to win these things.
Yeah, kind of look a little bit more professional as we go further. Now we have the Los Angeles Olympics. You can make it a little bit more professional as you go into bigger competitions.
shout out Coach Nacho and Wayne Nyhorst. Phoebe
Yep,
just added you both,
I
so
did. You all got
respond however.
barefoot.
Put on some shoes, man. It's never
Barefoot,
good
barefoot.
barefoot on the sideline.
Nacho
Yeah,
has never got
barefoot.
shoes on.
It's never a
That's
good look.
He was my coach, so yeah, barefoot. He's
Yeah,
like
he loves it. And I love Nacho for that. He's totally himself.
Okay. So bringing it back and kind of looking at what we all hope to, for the players, for the youth players, especially going into the future. Obviously, as I said, you've been a player with Team Spain. You've been working with the youth now. How do you think the integration, like how do you think the players will feed into the adult programs? Because obviously that's a dream or aspiration or should be for a lot of the players. How does that come around?
it's a kind of tough because the difference of level between youth and the adults it's really really big. So what we are trying to do with Coach Choose is to make them come to the senior team camps, and also in the teams that can go to international game tournaments. We try to bring like one or two players that are that have a good level, so they can learn, because most of them, they never left Spain, they never like played in a high level competition. They just play like they're in their country. Sometimes they don't even go to the finals, you know. So they just play in their clubs, and they don't have the opportunity to see like really high level. So in their clubs, they're very good players, but when you put them outside with even higher good players, it's tough for them, because they're being the best and then they're just like medium, you know. So sometimes it's really hard. So what we're trying to build is, it's like to get one or two per team, one or two of these young guys, young promises, to get them into big tournaments like Big Bowl, King Bowl, Champions Bowl, those kind of tournaments where you can have like three games that are kind of easy, like you can make them play a lot, you know, and then they can also play in tough games, you know, and see the level, the time management, and what it is to play against like an adult. Last year, no, 2 years ago, we took Evie to the King Bowl, and he has the chance to, you know, to play against adults. And I think that's really important that we took these youngers with us to teach them, because most of the time they're just taught by their coach and not by real players that have played at high level internationally.
And can I just
Evie, oh,
sneak in there just quickly? How does that work then? Because it's a conversation we have in a lot of different international programs. Again, tackle or flag. If you've got a youth setup and an adult setup, do you find that in Spain, for example, that I know you speak with Coach Chus, who coaches the men's program, but is there a crossover in playbooks? Is there a way that, whatever's being taught or techniques or fundamentals? Because this is something that we're trying to work through right now in Great Britain, for example, is how do we make sure we're not teaching them something as youth, which then has to be retaught or taught differently in adult. And there may not be an answer.
Actually, on the defense, for my part, um, I kind of use the same playbook as we use with the national team, so they have it, you know, and they can work on it. Uh, and then later, when they come to the national team with the seniors, they know how to play those covers, you know. Obviously, it's the highest level, so there's a lot of different assignments, you know, reading on the play. It's more basic with them, because you cannot like make them read the center or whatever. But yeah, basically we try to use the same playbook in offense and defense. So when they come to the senior team, they don't have to go from zero, from scratches, you know. So that's how we try to build the new generation. So and also we tell them that everything we teach them during the camps, that they try to teach them to their they call the players in the club, you know, because it's important that they practices also in their clubs, you know, not only with the national team. So that's the way we are working right now.
I think that's fantastic. We always talk about how if you have the elite competition, coaches, players, how you make sure that information, that knowledge passes down to the players back to their home teams and their local areas. But just a quick final bit on this piece. Do you have any plans for like an under 21s? Because I think one of the problems is the gap between under 17 and adult is still so big. Is there any benefit maybe of having a middle program, an under 21s type?
We don't have any league that use under 21 in Spain, so it's kind of have to build it from scratches, you know. That's why we're trying to link them directly to the senior team. Most of my players this year, that I got on the defense. They got to the first training camp with the national team, with the seniors, and then they came to the youth. So that's kind of the way we are trying to make it. But we don't have under 21. So that's why we're trying to get those players to play with a bigger team and to take them out, even it's for just a tournament, one tournament a year or two. We try to yeah, to get them there so they can learn even more, But
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard because they're still young, so sometimes they have the football IQ, but they don't have the physique or the technique. Sometimes they have the technique and the football IQ, but they're still not fast enough. They don't jump high enough, So um, I think there's a time to learn, and we don't have to rush them into being in the national team as they pass the under 17. I think it's good that they try and they really try to get into it so the level increase, but I don't want to make them having so much pressure. They're still young, and even if it's a game and it's important, I think the most important thing is to have fun.
Yeah.
So we try to teach them too, it's okay to be competitive, but the first thing is to have fun. You're here to have fun.
No, thank you for that. I think we had so many conversations. I had so many conversations over the weekend, where people were saying the same things about the need for competition, for more opportunities to play. So no, thank you. That's a great point.
And now, for anybody at home that's listening to this, or obviously you're wearing a Team Spain shirt, but you have a little bit of a French twang when you speak some of your words as well. So, how many languages do you actually speak? And put us all to shame.
Okay. I speak 3 languages fluently, so French, Spanish, and English. Actually, I was born in France and raised in France. So I'm half
Breaking
French,
news!
half.
Breaking news! Oh no!
It's exclusive, guys.
You don't want to
Exclusive.
play for Team France?
I tried. I tried 2 times for Team France.
Wow!
Uh, yeah, I tried 2 times, and well, they didn't wanted me, but Team Spain wanted me. So now I'm really happy to play for the Spanish team and to be able to help winning competitions.
France regrets
And
it.
Yeah.
They regret
yeah,
it.
yeah. I got like a little revenge, that they cut me, but well, you have lost something.
Exactly. It's good to have
C'est
a
c'est
chip on
la
the
vie.
shoulder.
C'est la vie.
C'est la
Yeah,
vie.
exactly. Que sera, sera. So then, okay, you've tried out for France. Would you coach for other countries as well? This is not a job interview, I swear, but would you be open to it?
Um, Actually, I don't know. I didn't really ask myself that question. I don't even know if next year, if they propose to me to be the under 17 coach, I will try it. Um, I think I had a really amazing experience, and I have to think about all that happens and put things clear why we win, how, because the group was really crazy, and I think I did just a little bit of the job, and they did most of it. So, but I'm not close to be coaching other teams. I mean, I love coaching, so if the opportunity comes, yeah, obviously, and the project is interesting. I will be probably really interested in coaching other teams for sure. I mean, spreading knowledge, it's something it's really grateful. I really like it. I love to play, but I really also love to coach because it's so rewarding to see a player that grows into the field, outside the field, because we don't I think I try to not just teach them how to play, but some things about life too. I try to teach them how to lose, how to respond to certain situations. I'm not just here to coach about flag football and everything else. It doesn't matter. No, I try to teach them about life too, and I think that's an important part to be a good player and good person. So I will always be hoping to be coaching And I think if the projects really attract me, I will be able to maybe say yes to coaching maybe outside Spain.
Nigeria may be looking for some people, so you and me, we can go to.
Every time, Nige.
You've spoken a lot about like the autonomy that you've given your players, allowing them to sort of call plays and allowing them to very much be themselves in the game. But you do coach a team that is essentially all, like young adults. They're all under 17s. So for you as a coach, when you do have these young people that you're coaching, what do you consider to be more important, discipline or freedom?
I try to manage to give them both. It's like it's easy. On certain situation, you have to be disciplined, so you get into the concentration you need for the game and for the moment. After that, I give you some freedom, so you can just let it go, all of your emotions, feelings, and that's the important thing. It's balance, I think, because if you're too disciplined, too strict with them, then when they explode, when all these feelings have to go out, yeah, then they cannot control it, and it's all like a chaos. So that's why I try to make them very be disciplined on some moments of the day, and then I let them freedom like for some moments. Like if I say something, you must do it, but if I say nothing, you can do whatever, you know. I try to set moments where before the games, well, we have 3 hours between games. Okay, for 1 hour and a half, you can do mostly what you want and just don't get into trouble, obviously. But after that, 1 hour 30 before the game, you have to be locked in. So it's just you can be with with your music, whatever. But when we go into team meetings or whatever, you have to be focused. You have to be disciplined. You have to have a good behavior. So at that moment, I think that's important to be strict and disciplined with them, because if not, then uh, one player that is not disciplined, he can spread it to the other players, and then you lose all the minds, all the mindset and the focus on the game. So yeah, I set moments where they have to be disciplined, and I will not allow any behavior that I don't think it's good for the team. And then I will let them freedom so they can just explode all their feelings or what's going on, you know. So it's balance basically.
I think that's a great way of thinking. I mean, Yaz and Kenny are both teachers at heart, so I think that understanding of discipline and even my time in Buffalo, Coach McDermott, he always said like these are your boundaries, like you said for, earlier on. You can do whatever you want within these boundaries. You've got the freedom to do that, but don't step outside of that. So it's a really nice marriage of the two worlds. And, whilst we're kind of on that discipline sort of conversation, your defense was phenomenal. I think it's hard to ignore that when we're looking at the entire competition, some of the highest stats really across any of the teams competing. It's kind of a two-part question. One, like what do you feel is the key to a sound defense? But do you focus on athletic ability, technique, tactics, or a combination, I guess, when you're looking at it? So which would you think is the most important of all those?
First of all, I want to create a group of individuals that trust each other. That's my base. That they have to talk to each other, to trust each other, so they have to play with each other. And when we are at this point, then I focus on the details. Like first of all, I watch the players, how they move, how they behave. It's really important how they behave. I try to understand the role of every player I have so I can build around it. I have to find one or two leaders that I can trust, that I can say that they have to put the other players in the place that they have to be. I have some players that are more funny, so I let them a little bit funny so they can make a group where they trust each other. During these days, I made some interactive activities. I think that's really important. I make them fill Google Forms with questions about themselves so they can know each other. And then we coaches, we talk about us so they can trust us too, because it's important that they trust us. So we talked about some things really personal about us. Some were funny, some were not funny, you know. And I think it has to be very interactive so you don't lose them, and they trust you, they trust each other. So I look at obviously abilities like technique, football IQ. When I look at football IQ, that's where I try to find my leaders because they understand the football, so they can also help me to lead the players to where I want them to be and how I want them to understand the play, the game. So when I got this player or these two players, then I can like give them small missions about, man, you have to focus on this player and make him do that, or focus on this that he's not doing really well. And after that, well, abilities obviously on the field. I told them from the beginning that I will set five players that will be like the five that will play most of the games. And when we are two or three touchdowns ahead, then there will be rotation. So from the beginning, they knew that the two players that I have in defense that are extra, they will not have a lot of plays, but they have to be at 100% on those plays. And that creates a group too, because they know the place of every player. So it's really important that every player have a place and he knows that he belongs there and that he's important no matter what, you know? And the more the five players play together, the more the group is solid because they trust more each other. And then you add one more and they begin to trust him. And so you don't lose the way of working. So that's really important for me. So yeah, I will say that I look at each player and I try to find the role that it's more important in the team, and then to assign them like kind of roles so they can explode this and be the best on the field and outside the field too.
I think that's a really, a great way of looking at it, to be honest. I mean, you're ultimately building your team around boundaries, trust, and expectations. So you set that all out so clearly, and I think there's a lot of lessons that a lot of people can take from that.
And
So
I think
yeah, thank you for sharing.
for anyone listening, if you got to rewind this, get your pen and paper out because that's the blueprint. Coach Will just gave you the blueprint for building a team that like, yeah, solid,
I,
solid.
I try to before the competition, I ask them to set goals like on short, medium, and long term on every game and on the competition too. So that's important too because you have to have a goal for the whole defense or the whole offense, and then you have to set goals for the players themselves. So they try to achieve those goals and they try to be better. So yeah, and some of them have goals that was like, okay, I want like 5 interceptions, 6 interceptions. I want to like at least 2 pick 6. I want at least 2 sacks per game with one safety every 2 games. You know, so that's important too that they have goals because without goals, you go nowhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's it's blowing my mind because I love that you said a number of things where it was like you have a plan for when you're 2 or 3 scores up. There's so much confidence in that. That's just naturally comes out of the plans that you look for. Hey, we want safeties, we want interceptions, we want sacks. Having those goals clearly defined is key. Last thing from me, hopefully, maybe last thing, there may be more questions, but so we were together on the trip to Finland for the World Championships, and that's where I discovered that, like me, you um, like to play Sudoku. Maybe I say like me, way better than me. When puzzles get, complicated, and I would give it to Will, and he's like, "Oh, it's just here," and he would fix it. Really annoying, really good, but really annoying. Um, like you're a beast when it comes to math puzzles. So I was ready. I was ready this year. I found a new game called Numbers Match. I was going to introduce him to it, show him my high score, get to the dinner table or whatever in Innsbruck, and I'm like, hey, numbers match. He's like, yeah, I've got it. I was like, what's your high score? I knew what my high score was. Let's just say his is high. Your high score is like 14,000.
15, 15.
Now it's 15. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm still on 8. I haven't made 5 figures yet. But sorry, I say all of that to say one of the things I always talk to coaches about, especially when it comes to football, tackle or flag, is a lot of the very best coaches I know enjoy puzzles and enjoy kind of having to work things out and dissect things and break things down. Do you think that has any effect on maybe how you break down defenses, how you look for patterns in play, or is it just something completely separate that you enjoy to do?
I think he has some kind of connections because you try to find solutions. Basically, you try to solve something, a problem. So with flag football or in life in general, when you have a situation, you have to solve it. So you have to find a solution. So I think this kind of games help you to find the easiest way or the best way to a solution that help you to resolve everything. So I see flag football like well, in defense, it's all about you have to read. You have to read and understand the game, where they want to be, where the offense wants you to be, so they can throw this route or this one, you know. So there's like windows that open, and you have to close these windows. So you have your player. You know, I try to teach them all this to help each other. To the final solution is to stop the offense. So I think it helps to try to solve things. And in flag football, in the offense, you have to solve how the other defense works, so you can attack the weakest point. And on the defense, you have to know your weakest points, so you can solve that they will not score on those weak points, you know. So yeah, I think it has kind of a connection between these kind of games that you try to solve. That you have to really think a lot. And I think when you do scouts and you prepare your defense, it's important that you have a lot of vision. You know that you can use that weapon, this one. You know that this player is better playing short, so against that QB, I will tell him that they do a lot of reverse. You know, so yeah, but I think it helps. I think it helps.
That's amazing. Maybe you can do a meeting for us on how to get high scores in Sudoku and number match. But no, that's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think from all of us, we just want to say a massive thank you for your time tonight. I mean, it's been totally enlightening. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you better as a coach, not
Thank
just
you.
as a player. And yeah, best of luck in everything that you do. And thank you so much for joining us on What the Flag.
Thank you for your invitation. It was really great.
What an amazing ride that was. Thank you all for tuning in for probably one of our longer episodes, but it was full of so much greatness. Good luck to everybody competing this weekend. We're so excited. And make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And we'll see you next week on What the Flag.